Hey everybody, this is Alan Moore, certified financial planner and founder of Serenity Financial Consulting. Thanks for joining me. Have you ever heard of umbrella insurance? Maybe your agent tried to sell it to you when you were buying your home or auto policies. Umbrella insurance is something I rarely see clients come in with, and yet it's an incredibly important insurance policy. Umbrella insurance, also called a personal liability insurance coverage, basically protects you in the event of a lawsuit. So we live in an incredibly litigious society these days, and it seems like you can get sued for pretty much anything. Lawsuits can be financially devastating, so it's really important that you protect yourself from that possibility. Here are a few of the questions that I primarily get about umbrella insurance when I talk to my clients about it. The first one is, what does it actually cover? So umbrella insurance, again, provides protection against a lawsuit. So if you're sued and convicted, then the umbrella insurance policy is going to pay out whatever the judgment was up to the amount that you've purchased. So if you're sued for $500,000 and you have that much in coverage, your policy is going to pay that $500,000. I like to call it trip and fall insurance, because if someone's at your home, they trip and they fall on your lawn and they say, well, you didn't remove that root like you should have, and they sue you, then this is basically the insurance against that. The second question is, well, doesn't my home and auto policy have liability coverage? Chances are yes. So your home and auto policies do have built-in liability coverage, but there are two very important caveats. The first one is, your auto insurance policy is only going to pay out a liability claim if the lawsuit involves your automobile, right? So they're not going to pay out if you get sued because you slandered someone on Facebook. Okay, it doesn't work that way. So you've got to be in your car for your car policy to pay. And second off, you probably have between $100,000 and $300,000, maybe $500,000 of liability coverage. So if you're sued for more than that, then you're going to be responsible for whatever's not covered. So let's say your auto policy has $100,000 in coverage and you're sued for $500,000. If you don't have an umbrella insurance policy, your auto's going to pay the first $100,000 and you're going to be responsible for the next $400,000. If you do have an umbrella policy, then it's going to kick in and pay that $400,000 balance. The next question is, how much does it cost? And the answer is, it's actually really cheap. $1 million in coverage will typically run you $150 to $300 a year, depending on how many cars and houses and people you have in your household, but it's actually really inexpensive coverage. So the next question I get is, okay, Alan, I know I need to go get an umbrella insurance policy, but how much do I need? The better question is, how much do you have to lose? So I usually recommend, at a minimum, everyone have $1 million umbrella insurance policy, and that's at a minimum. The only reason to not have this is if you are completely judgment proof, which means if you are sued and they win, that there's nothing to take. Okay, that's very rare. So you probably don't fit in that category. So usually $1 million. You want to be sure your entire net worth is covered. So if you have a $2 million net worth, you don't want to only have $1 million in coverage, because that lawsuit could still get at the other $1 million of your net worth. And the other thing to not forget is your greatest asset may be your ability to earn money. So just because you have a low net worth, if you have a high income, you may still want to have a couple $1 million in coverage to protect against the case of, that they say, oh, well, so-and-so doesn't have very much money, but they're going to earn a lot of money over the next 10 years, so we're just going to get 10% of their income over the next 10 years. So you want to protect yourself against that. So the next question I get is, where do I get an umbrella insurance policy? Typically, you're going to need to go to the same insurance company that has your home and auto insurance policies in order to get the umbrella coverage. They generally like to have all the policies at once instead of having them from different companies. The final question is, and this is the big one, do I really need another insurance policy? Umbrella insurance policies are one of those things that I recommend to almost all of my clients. Not all of them, but most. And the reason is, although a lawsuit may not be very likely to happen, it is financially devastating when it does. So it's one of those things that you really want to insure against if you can. And the coverage is so inexpensive that most people can afford the $150 a year in premiums in order to get $1 million in coverage. So what do you think? Do you already have an umbrella insurance policy? If so, why did you get it? What kind of convinced you to make the jump? And if not, are you thinking about getting it now? Definitely feel free to share in the comments section. So that's all I have for today. Thanks so much for joining me.